Well, thank you once again for joining this little show that we like to call Testosterone Sports. And this is a family-oriented program. And I'm a father, and I've had my son on before. And this is Peyton right here, and Zachary over there. This is Eric's son right here. And your name's Peyton, yet your favorite player is Carson Palmer, right?
Yep.
So you like Palmer. How many touchdowns do you think he'll throw against the Jets this week?
I think, I'm guessing 14.
Oh,
Okay, so then now that would be a lot. Maybe 4 is a little bit more like what he'll do. That would be a good game, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So the next matchup, in the interest of bagging on the Bears as much as we can, since they're the worst team in the North, they go to Philadelphia and they play the worst team in the East. So we're going to talk to the little guys here about what they think is going to happen. And tell me who you think is going to win, the Bears or the Eagles here, Peyton?
You mean the Eagles?
Do you think the Bears are going to beat the Eagles or the Eagles are going to win?
I think the Eagles are going to win.
That's a pretty good guess. And so do you like Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook to do good this game?
I hope they do.
They're going to need to do good if they're going to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Zach, over there, what do you think? Are the
gonna win,
Bears
Zach?
or is it going to be the Eagles?
Eagles.
Oh, so you're saying the Eagles too. So you realize that Peyton is smart. The Eagles are at home, so they're going to have a good chance to beat the Bears, right?
Yep.
it's unanimous.
Yeah. All right, well, you two boys, thanks for coming
All right,
on. That's right,
thanks
show
for
off your
coming down.
guns.
Yep.
Give me a high five. We'll
And
finish
give
up
me
the
a fist
segment.
pound, Peyton. All right. Take care, you guys.
All right.
So we might be the ones who get to do the television show, Eric, but we know who the real stars are here. It's our
I
offspring.
hope that works.
So moving along from two of the worst teams in the NFC to another one of the worst teams in the NFC, St. Louis going to Seattle. This used to be a matchup with some clout, Eric. Now it seems like these two teams, don't deserve to play against Eden Prairie.
No, the St. Louis Rams are a disaster. They're 0-6. How would you like to be the Seahawks, Jeff? Last week, they were at home Sunday Night Football hosting the then winless Saints.
Mm-hmm.
They lose that game. They really weren't in that game for all intents and purposes. Now they get another so-called easy W on the schedule, St. Louis. They had better win this football game. That would be a disaster to lose 2 straight games at home to teams that had not won coming in.
Yeah, that's right. One thing I've read is that Mark Bulger is trying to push back from his injury, possibly a little bit too quickly. Keep an eye on that. All you Steven Jackson owners, hang on tight. He's starting to come back to practice. Still, word is that he won't play. He should be dealing with some rust. Bad groin injury. Probably will keep him from being effective, don't you think?
Well, that's a tough injury, no doubt. That's what Tavares Jackson has with the Vikings. You think about Steven Jackson and his struggles and the injuries he's had. We talked about Frank Gore earlier. It just goes to show you all that preseason prognosticating and the hype and the bluster and the hot air that comes out of guys like me and everybody around the country. You can sit and think you might know what's going to happen, because I heard people say Steven Jackson is it, or Frank Gore is going to be the man. Well, you just don't know, do you?
Yeah, you really don't know until you strap on the pads and you start to knock heads. Speaking of knocking heads, Sean Alexander did so poorly in their last game that the 12th man turned on him, and it looked like they were stomping on his foot to try to break that foot again. No, but I think that he gets off the schneid here this weekend. I get the feeling that he's going to have his best game so far of the season, and Seattle's defense makes a nice play if you're in a bye pinch. The St. Louis Rams not very good. Gus Frerotte likes to throw a lot of interceptions, not so many touchdowns. So not a whole lot of scoring in that game, in my opinion.
I think Sean Alexander, quickly, Jeff, he's become like a jello running back. He's soft. He doesn't seem to be running with that intensity, say, Marion Barber is or Adrian Peterson. He needs to get it back. He needs to get it cranked up.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little bit more fire in him when he runs the football. One team coming off a bye who I don't think will have a hangover, the Pittsburgh Steelers go to the Denver Broncos. And in the Mile High City, I know that it's not easy to win. I think a low-scoring game here, Eric. Give me your sense on what's going to happen.
Well, I think the Denver Broncos are just not a very good football team. But keep in mind, they got spanked the last time they played at Mile High Stadium by San Diego. And they had a bye last week. So they've had to sit and, let that feeling just churn in their stomach of how bad they were in that game. So I expect Denver to come out and be more competitive, but I think Pittsburgh's just a better football team. The other thing is, I never thought I'd say this in Denver, where Bronco Mania is it. it's Rocky fever right now.
Right.
There might not be anybody that cares about the Broncos in Colorado at this point in time.
Yeah, and baseball's a fun sport. You know, I really liked watching. It was Game 4. The fans brought the brooms in. I've been to a game down at Rocky Stadium. It's wonderful there.
Yeah, Denver's one of my favorite cities. Great
Yeah.
sports town. I know you're from the Mountain West. I'm from the West Coast. I'm happy for the Rockies.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The Broncos, I don't know. They got to
Yeah.
get it going.
Well, it was funny in Game 4, just to touch on that for a second. They were playing the Diamondbacks, you know, and the Diamondbacks from Arizona, they looked so cold. It was 50 degrees at opening pitch. You could tell that they just were freezing cold. So congratulations to the Rockies and to all the people down there, because your football team is smelly. And it's not going to look much better this weekend, although I'm sure Mike Shanahan is giving the rah-rah speech. You know, we got to get up for the Steelers. I worry that they're going to not be able to hang Javon Walker. As long as he's off the field, their passing game just isn't what it should be.
Yeah, they need him in there. And to me, this is one of those, I call it a gauge game. We're going to be able to gauge just how far the Steelers have come. Denver's still very much in the race in the AFC West, because those teams are all clogged up. It's a gummed up situation in the AFC West. So as bad as Denver has looked, they can get themselves right back in the thick of things. But this is going to tell me just how good Pittsburgh is on the road, Monday night, hostile environment, the young coach Mike Tomlin. I just think Pittsburgh's a pretty solid team. Everybody's talking about New England and Indy and that matchup in a couple of weeks. Pittsburgh's in a great spot now. They can lay in the weeds and just keep getting it done and set themselves up to maybe get, well, even still a 1 seed, but maybe better yet, a 2 seed. One of those is still a possibility for the Steelers. But this is the kind of game they need to win.
Yeah, I really like Willie Parker to get in the end zone this week. So far, he's only got 1 touchdown on the season, so I think they're really working all over the bye week on getting him the ball in position to score. So keep an eye on what's going on there. Also, Hines Ward should play here in this game, as well as Santonio Holmes. So start Santonio Holmes, reserve Ward for now until he proves that he can stay on the field and be healthy. I know you mentioned Indianapolis just a few minutes ago. They're on Monday night at Jacksonville. That's an interesting matchup. Indy's a pretty good team. They're pretty good. Do you think they can take out the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, they're okay. They have a ring on their finger from something called the Super Bowl.
Right.
This is for first place. I mean, the Jags are 4-1. The Colts are 5-0. And if you look at the Indianapolis Colts so far, they've won at Houston, tough game, but they did win. They won at Tennessee, tough game, but they did win. If they can go in and get the win in Jacksonville, they will be 3-0 within the division, and all 3 wins on the road, meaning the next time they come and see those teams, they're at the RCA Dome, which almost guarantees you they're going to be able to win the division again. So Jacksonville has to step up, and I know they beat them last year at home. I believe they thumped them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible. David Garrard doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He's not a great fantasy quarterback, but he's efficient. Maurice Jones-Drew. This kid is something else. I mean, everybody talked about Reggie Bush when he was out at USC in L.A. At the same time, you had Maurice Jones-Drew across town in UCLA. He might be as good as Reggie Bush.
Yeah, and he's been performing as good, if not better, than Reggie Bush in the last few weeks. I really like Maurice Jones-Drew to get going in this game. Indianapolis started the season stopping the run really well. They sustained some injuries to Bob Sanders and Robbie Morris. They're unable to stop the run nearly as well. So start Maurice Jones-Drew. Fred Taylor dealing with another injury, Fragile Fred. They call him that for a reason. Reserve your expectations on him. Start all your Colts. Keep an eye on what's going on with Marvin Harrison. I think he'll be a game-time decision. If he's unable to go, Dallas Clark will step it up as usual.
Yeah, and the Colts are just one of those teams that are all about winning. I mean, Tony Dungy is simply a winner. Peyton Manning's a winner, and they usually rise to the occasion. But, hey, for Jacksonville, if you can come out of this with a win, you can look in the mirror and say, not only are you a serious contender to win the AFC South, but like Pittsburgh, you're in that hunt for the 1 or the 2 seed. And again, you really want to have the 1 or the 2 seed guarantee that first week off in the playoffs, get some home field when you do play. That's huge. I know the playoffs are way down the road, but this is one of those games that can be a statement for the Jags.
Yeah. Have you ever seen 2 teams who are the exact opposite like these two? It's amazing.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, you just talk about 2 diametrically opposed teams as far as the way they go about their business. Indianapolis has had more success. They've won the Super Bowl. They're a perennial playoff team. But Jacksonville is coming. You know, you get the feeling the Jacksonville Jaguars are knocking on the door of being a serious playoff contender. And we're going to see. Monday Night Football, that ramps it up.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be a great game. That's always a fun time to watch. We're running out of time. That's our show for this week. Week 7 in the books. Good luck to all your fantasy teams for Eric Nelson, you can check out his show this Saturday, 3:30 to 7, and then again on Sunday, 12 to 3 on WCCO,
The great
830.
WCCO, yes.
Yeah, thanks
Tune
again
in.
for coming on.
Thanks, bro.
Oh, really appreciate it. And that's us, Testosterone Sports. Keep tuning in. Come on to the Fat Chat, because if you want to win, you must tune in to Testosterone Sports. Take it easy, everybody. Good luck. I knew I was kind of throwing that one out there at you.